This midday, we're joined by Elizabeth Rosine from Trees Incorporated, and you're here to tell us how we can prep our yards and gardens and things for the fall and winter seasons.
Yes, I am, and I think the main thing is to do your fall cleanup.
Okay.
And vegetable gardens particularly, you got a lot of refuse, vines and stalks and things like that. You need to go ahead and clean that out of the garden, and then probably do some mulching for permanent beds like asparagus and berries. You would need to do the same thing, clean out the weeds, but then do some compost mulch on those. Leaves are the best thing you can use for mulching in the garden.
And should we probably, if we have any more kind of vegetables or fruit on the vines, that kind of thing, start taking those down? Because
some things will stay okay for a while as long as you watch them. Depends on how hard the frost is.
Alrighty.
Some things actually benefit from a little nip of frost, like kale and some of the greens that you might have in your garden. And some lettuces do fairly well if you mulch them pretty well. They'll last for quite a while.
do we need to do the same kind of mulching type of thing for our flower beds?
Again, the same type of prep. You're going to want to weed them. You're going to want perennials. It's a good time to do dividing of perennials. Mulching is a good idea. Also doing some fall planting. If you've done that, be sure that new plantings are well mulched. And also, even though it's colder and not as warm outside, you do need to make sure that those things stay watered.
And also with the frost and kind of things like that, do we need to start like covering plants? What plants or things should we cover?
Well, if there's things in the vegetable garden that you want to maybe protect a little bit longer to keep having some produce, you might want to do some covering of those. But for the most part, landscape plants and perennials are going dormant.
Okay.
So just mulching is probably the best thing you're going to want to do. In the spring is when you might want to do more covering when things are starting to leaf out.
What about young trees or new trees that may have been just planted?
Okay, again, mulch, the M word.
Okay.
It is mulch,
That's
mulch,
key.
mulch. It's really key. And again, leaves are a great source of mulch. They're free. Shred them up with your lawnmower or whatever and put them around there. But new trees, you do need to make sure they stay moist.
And if people have questions, can they contact Trees Incorporated?
You know, I think that you can contact members if you know.
Okay.
We all have different interests, so there's some, but you can contact a Purdue Extension,
Wonderful.
and that's a really good place to start.
Well, thank you so much for telling us all this great information. We appreciate it.
Thank you very
Thank
much
you.
for having me.
And if you'd like some more fall garden preparation information, you can call the number you see on your screen. News 10 of Midday. We'll be right back.